Hi guys. This question has been coming up a little too many number of times as to how did I manage to get these many degrees in this short time or at this age. And again, this question came up yesterday, and I was thinking about it. And while I compiled my thoughts, I wanted to immediately make this video, hoping that it'll help a lot many people. So pardon the light or the sound or whatever, and just to let you know, there'll be a lot of awkwardness in the video because it's more personal, I believe, and I'm not very camera loving person, and you might find it a little odd, but because of so many class lectures. But the point is that when I'm taking a class, I just don't realize anything around me, and so the camera is there or not there is not something that comes to my mind when I'm taking a class. So this one is a little different. So just an apology at the beginning itself. So when I come to think of it as to, how did I manage to get these many degrees, looking back, reflecting a little bit, the first thing that comes to me is the why. So basically, what is motivating you or what is driving you in order to do more, in order to study hard, when there are so many distractions around. So the first thing is going to be the why, because if my parents are going to be telling me to study, I'm not going to be studying because of that. If someone is forcing you, or if someone is asking you to, or if someone is scaring you with marks or something, you'll probably just barely try to pass through your graduation or something, but you're not going to be putting in that kind of an effort. So there has to be a why that is going to be driving me. So for me, I think it was in class 9 or 10 or something when my mom used to tell me, she just explained me this bit that you're making like a fixed deposit right now for the next, because when you're in class 9 or 10, for example, you have the next 5 years to study or 6 years to study. You'll have your class 11, 12, you'll have your graduation, and you'll wrap up with your CA or CFA or MBA or whatever you're doing. So she used to tell me that you have these 5 7 years that you're going to be studying right now, and it's like a fixed deposit you're making right now. So whatever amount of fixed deposit you make, say for example, you'll be getting interest rate at the rate of 10%, let's say. So once you're out of college and you've completed your education, if you've made an FD of 1 lakh rupees, you'll get 10,000, and then with experience it'll get added, or it'll grow at a compounding rate, but you'll start at 10,000 rupees. If you're doing well right now, you'll start at maybe 2 lakh rupees, and then you'll get 20,000 rupees as interest, and you will get, and that will keep on growing for your entire life. So you start with the 10,000 and that grows for your entire life, or you start with the 20,000 and that grows for your entire life. So whatever investment you're making right now, that FD you're making, that is invest in yourself. So probably my mom thought about it before me. Whatever investment you're making right now, that FD, that fixed deposit that you're doing right now, is what you're going to be enjoying throughout the rest of your life. So that was something that kind of stuck to my mind, and I knew that it is just these 5 7 years that I have to be struggling very hard and working very hard. And I realize now that the hard work continues, but these 5 7 years are going to be the building base for your FD, and that is what is going to be it's going to be propelling your career somewhere in the future. So that was one very important thing that drove me. So you can check Marshmallow Experiment if you want. It's about compromising something now, or for a better reward, delayed gratification for a better reward in the future. So you can just look that up. So that was one. And second, there was always a push that I wanted to do more. I want to make something out of my life. I mean, कुछ करना है मतलब. So that was there, and it was always a long term reward that mattered to me, that still matters to me more than the short term. So that has been something inherent in my nature, if I could say so. So that is one thing that is always there. Even when I'm working today, it's more about the long term than about the short term benefits of something. So like, say for example, when I used to be giving all these exams and all, and so I've given a very good exam, or I've got some really good scores in some exam or something. And it's not that I would be getting a lot of gifts after every exam or something. And when I used to see my friends and all, some of them maybe at times, getting something for a very, very small exam or not so great score or something, I used to be like, yaar, mere ko nahi mil raha. Matlab, I'm not getting it. But I should get more gifts or something like that, for example. But then the point is that it did not matter. Matlab, it's a little childish for me to say that, but it did not matter, because even then what mattered was that long term I'm going to be doing better. So long term I'm going to be doing more. So that was the thought that I always had, that I need to work really hard right now to get something in the long term. And Another thing, so that is one part of it. That is, the why, as to why I wanted to study or why I wanted to work really hard, and I still do. The second reason would be more about the value system, if I could say so. I'll come to the studying part also, but these are really important. So one is the value system that I've been fortunately brought up with is, in terms of the importance that education my father's given, or the importance that my mom gave to my education, to my siblings as well. And the education has always been a priority in the house. That if I have an exam, then don't ask him to do any household work. Not that I'm doing any house, I've done any household work, or not even to go to the market and buy a loaf of bread. So during the exam, you don't do all that. So don't ask the kids to do anything. The basics. And there will be no holiday if there is an exam coming up, let's say for example in March, if your boards is there or whatever is there. So to 3-4 months before that, there is absolutely no family vacation happening for sure. So there was a little environment that was built around it. There was a lot of importance given to the education, and which I see people taking a little too casually nowadays, maybe. So it's always been very, very important, the exams, the education, so that's one. The second is, the importance to time. So it was never that, we are wasting time. We are sitting throughout the day and wasting time just like that. So it happens less. It happens less. So there's always a lot of value given to your time, and to punctuality, to time, to education. So these things are valued a lot. And we've been, we, as in me and my siblings, we've had a very grounded upbringing, if I could say so. So like, even if we used to go to classes or tuitions and all, and we always used to take a metro, and rarely we would take cabs and all. So there was always a sense of value for money that we had. So when we are giving exams as expensive as a CFA or an FRM or even CA, and all the exams, when you take into consideration all the costs and all, so it used to be, it is always, that my parents, my dad's lot of hard earned money is being put in, lot of effort my mom is putting in. So if I don't clear the exam, there'll be a lot of cumulative effort that is going to go waste, and I cannot splurge my parents' money that way. I cannot waste their money that way. So there was a lot of value given to money, even if we are going for a class, say for example. So you've paid the teacher to attend the classes. You've paid for the books that you're buying. So you're not supposed to be wasting that. So there was a sense of value that, in terms of money, no matter how, even a 10 rupees, even today, the 10 rupees matters a lot. So that, I think, was one of the reasons. And along with that, my grandfather's been very, very proud of me all throughout. So I probably did not want to disappoint him. So there was a lot of hard work going on, that, if I don't clear the exam, he'll probably get a little disheartened about it, because he used to be, me, my parents and my grandfather used to know that aaj result wala day hai, today the results are going to be out. So I did not want them to feel disappointed, although on the results day, it was me who was disappointed and they were dancing to glory. So it has always been that way, that I'm not satisfied with my scores, and it's them that have been very happy about it. So yeah, this is, I think, a certain amount of value system is also important, which, in times like this, when everything is so available and you're paying online for most of the stuff, like a Swiggy or something, or an Ola and an Uber. So we kind of lose track of the value of money, value for money. So I believe that is also there. That is quite important. And also in terms of challenges, so there would be situations where some challenges used to turn up. Would I would rather take it up than let go. I would always push myself. So there's always a push that's needed, that that I'm probably going to attempt more. So even if I don't clear it, or even if I don't manage it, still let me attempt it. Let me not back out of situation. So that is also something that was there. Like, I'll give you an example. What happened was that, when I was in class 12, I registered for CS examinations. And funnily, there is in ISC board, for ISC board, for class 12 boards, we have a registration card and we have an admit card. I registered for CS using a registration card because the admit card was not available. And I was like, ठीक है, देखते हैं, मतलब I'll see whether, if the institute accepts it. So it doesn't accept, then it's okay. I'll not be able to give it in June. So my class 12 gets over in the month of March, and I'll give the exam immediately in the month of June, the CS exam in the month of June. So, but what happened was that I got a mail from the institute that by the March end, you'll have to give your admit card because registration card is not valid for registration, for CS registration. And obviously, I'll be done with my boards by then. So, obviously, I'll be able to give my admit card, and they just wanted a copy of it. So, I was able to furnish that and register for CS. But then the problem was that there used to be something called postal. So, we had to write some sample answers for, to sit for the foundation exams. And before class 12 boards, I remember my class 12 boards are in March. I don't know anybody who's doing CS at that point of time because none of my friends are doing it that early. And nobody wanted to go and register with me except for one friend who backed out last moment. I don't know if he's seeing the video. And so I had to write the postals before my class 12 boards. So my boards are happening in March, and in the last week of February, I'm writing those sample answers for CS because I want to give the exam in June. And there was a deadline to submit those in the month of February or March or something. So there were a lot of situations like these where I mean it's good to challenge yourself to be probably to do more and and not to wait. So it's always been in my temperament that if I want to do something and if my friends are not coming along with me, I'll probably go by myself. So you cannot wait for other people because if other people are not as driven or as or are moving that far that fast with you, and you want to do something, then you go ahead with it. For example, if I wanted to participate in college fests and all, and if some of my friends are not turning up with me, I would anyways go and give auditions and all and participate in all the business fests and all. But so at times you can't wait for people around you to and then only you'll follow. You can probably just go ahead with it yourself, as in you don't have to wait for people to move forward. So if people want to join you, it's fine. If they don't want to join you, it's fine. So that is one. So these are the, I mean, if I could say value system or something. So these are the things that I think also added on to it. The next I'll come to the studying bit. So thirdly, I'll talk about the studying bit. So when I'm looking at the studying part, the one is the consistency helped me, I believe, because I've been a good student all throughout my school life. So there's always been a sense of encouragement, a sense of push, a sense of belief that people had, teachers had throughout my school life. So I believe that played a role. So consistency is important because, even today I remember my logarithm concepts or my unitary method or the fractions, which probably Mrs. Mehrotra taught me in class 3. I remember the teacher's name. So there's always been a certain level of consistency in terms of studying. And so probably that's one. And anyways, the subjects were new in class 11, 12, and when you get into graduation, so you'll have to maintain that consistency. You have to keep on working hard. It's you cannot take it casually. You cannot be complacent in between. You have to be very, very consistent with your education, with your hard work, with your experience, with everything. That is one. Second, I've always studied more in stretches. So, say for example, if I have a college today, I'll try to schedule 2 or 3 classes today itself. So that I'm going to college, I'm hopping on to a couple of classes and then coming back home really tired. And tomorrow, if I want to bunk, if I don't have any classes, that is the day I'll choose to bunk the college. So that I have a 24-hour stretch at home. So that I can study in a stretch of 16, 17 hours or 12 hours or 10 hours, whatever be the number of hours. So this also, I noticed this in one of the TED videos that you always need to do things in a stretch. Then you become productive because the first 2-3 hours is to put you in that work mode, to put you in that study mode, and then you're actually studying. So it is important that you have longer stretches of things. So I always like, if I have to go out, I'll go out and do 2-3 things together, meet 4-5 people in the same day and come back. Because then again, going out, coming back every day is very irritating because it is more time consuming. So kind of this called batching, I believe. So you try to do multiple things together. It saves a lot of time. So that is one thing I used to do. So studying at stretches, and that increases focus, that helps in your focus and a flow of study. So that is very important, which again I believe not a lot of people are. Then I cannot mug up. So I have never been able to mug up anything in any subject. So even if it is a law subject, I'm looking at what is the logic of the law coming in, like how is it preventing any fraud or how is it making the governance better or anything like that. So it's always been the understanding bit for me, the concept. So even if I don't understand the formula, and if I try to derive the formulas, like say for example, the a formula in finance can be derived using GP series formula. So I've done GP series in 11, 12. So when I started studying finance, I used GP series to derive the formula in C. Or there is a calculus formula that can be applied to inventory EOQ formula, or a GP series to the P0 equals to D1 by RE minus G formula. So a lot of derivations that you can do. So I've always been very interested in deriving and trying to understand the depth of things. So the understanding matters a lot, and not mugging up the entire stuff. Another thing I would say is the healthy competition worked very well in my favor. So now when I look back, I know that it was healthy competition. So back then it used to be very childish. So me and my friend Vidul, we used to study almost together for since class 9 till probably CA. The thing was that, we used to plan the studies together. We wouldn't study together in the same room. We'd study at our own houses, but then we used to always plan the studies together in such a way that if I've completed 5 chapters and I call him at the end of the day and he's completed 6, I would immediately keep the phone down and get back to studying. So there was a lot of healthy competition. So it was in a very good way. So I believe you need to have friends who are studying the same thing at the same time, or are in so make friends. So when you're studying something, probably make friends and push each other rather than pulling down each other. So there was a lot of healthy competition, a lot of push, that I probably got from the people around me. And also the few people that I used to hang out with, they were all driven towards studying. So it's important that the kind of people you surround yourself with. So if there are people who are more into chilling and all, I wouldn't gel very well with them. So even if I'm good with them, like, it's fine. I mean, they're friends, but then I wouldn't hang out, or, the mindset wouldn't resonate, because I don't like to waste my time. So I think that also helps, that the kind of people you're surrounding yourself with, because I truly believe that the books you read and the people you surround yourself with is what makes you. So I believe that is also there. And if people around you are not pushing you to do more, then I don't think it's selfish, but you dissociate. Not dissociate as in stop talking to someone, but you still move forward. So you don't wait for people. If people are chilling and you want to work or you want to study, you don't have to be a part of that social group. You just opt out. So I used to just opt out. So that is my take on this. Also, I believe the kind of importance I gave to my time and exam, like, it used to be like a panic created that I have my exam and nobody switches on the television loudly, or, so whatever, don't disturb me, or don't enter my room more number of times, or something like that, again and again. So when you give that kind of importance to your exam and your time, then people automatically give that importance to your time and your efforts and your exam and everything. So that's important, because ultimately you have to put in that kind of effort to clear an exam, a professional exam. It takes that. Then for the studying, I used to always take tips from my seniors. So whoever's given the exam, so you talk to them and their experience. That matters a lot, I believe, because they tell you what mistakes they made and how to go about studying and all those things. And I used to make it a point to listen to them, and like, write notes in the margin, or there's also a lot of smart studying involved, because when you want to tackle volume of the syllabus, and when I'm doing multiple things together, so tackling the volume very smartly becomes very important. So there used to be, like, my CACS foundation went together, CACS inter happened together. So there was a lot of overlap in the syllabus. So the exams were planned in such a way that the overlaps will be there. And or say, for example, I cannot revise 100 questions of a chapter. So only the unique parts of each of the question I had underlined and written, decided the trick or the treatment or whatever. So I had a list of tricks, and also I can revise 100 questions before the exam day. I keep on asking these kind of things to the students to do it in the class. But see, ultimately you will have to study. I can give you the ideas and give you the tricks, but पढ़ना तो आपको ही है ना. You will have to study. You listen to me or you don't listen to me is your choice. I cannot do more than that, anything about it, right? So I used to talk to my seniors whenever, whatever exams we used to give, and try to get an idea as to how to go about preparing, and used to actually follow and modify whatever opinions I used to get based on my way of studying, because the way I have been studying throughout school life, and I'll have to stick to that. So I want to studying in the morning always helped me. So always getting up early, because particularly when the exams used to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for CA, 4:30 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon, you have like 8-9 hours of studying immediately before the exam. So obviously it's going to be like sticking in your head when you're writing the paper, because you've studied for 9 hours just before the paper. So all these things do help. So getting up, I used to be very disciplined in terms of, my mom used to be very happy 2 weeks before the exam, because then I'm not eating out and I'm eating all fruits and everything, because the positivity is important. You have to eat right, you have to feel right. How do you think the exam day is going to be your lucky day? Because you have to do all these things in order to make that day your lucky day, when you're feeling good, when you're feeling good from the inside. So that used to be the best time she used to have, because I'm not eating any nonsense, and I'm having fruits and everything good at home and not eating out at all, because I cannot afford to fall ill. There are people who fall ill before the exam, so you have to make it a point not to eat out for 2-3 weeks before the exam. You cannot take that kind of chance. So as I told you, that is a kind of importance, that was given to the exams. So that is also there, I believe. And yeah, that's I think about the studying part. Otherwise, the tricks for different exams would be different, and I keep talking about it in the class. But don't mug up concepts. Focus, discipline. All these things are very, very important when you're taking up any exam. So apart from studying, if I could talk about maybe tricks or something, in that case, like say for example the social media. So if I'm looking at my college time when I was studying for CA or something, then I think WhatsApp was not there, and Android was there probably, but WhatsApp was not there. So maybe the distractions, the number of Snapchat was definitely not there. So definitely that many distractions were probably not there, but there was still a lot of distractions. Facebook was there. And I remember that before I entered this profession, there was not a single post of mine or single picture of mine that was posted on Facebook. And so I did not maybe I was not that socially matured, or I did not want to get that. I mean, I did not like that kind of attention or whatever on social media, and I just wanted to stay out of it. So I was there on Facebook, but I wouldn't post. It is just a very good medium of staying connected with a lot of people, with college friends, school friends, students for me now. So that was it. So that is the utility of Facebook. And now for me, it's more about reading news. So you and today also social media is there. There's a lot of distraction today. But then again, if I have to manage my work and if I want to do that kind of work, then I'll have to somehow learn how to tackle the kind of distractions, use it to my advantage, the way I'm doing it, in terms of staying connected, managing office on WhatsApp, and all of those things. But other than that, you'll have to take a call. I mean, you will have to be strict with yourself. So that is one. Second, there were a lot of overlaps in planning that I had done when I was planning the exams. That in these 6 months I'm going to do this. So always on a pen and paper, making a timeline, planning my exams. That this June I'm going to do this. This November I have a CA inter. So the planning part used to be a little looking at the overlap between subjects and all. So strategically maybe planning a few exams and all. Another thing is rewarding myself. So I started watching a lot of sitcoms during college life and not before college life. So at that point of time, it used to be like, if I complete this much content till 12 o'clock in the afternoon, then I'm going to get one episode of Friends. And if I complete this much till 6 o'clock in the evening, then I'm going to go for a movie today. Otherwise, I'm not going to go for a movie. But I used to make it a point to stay very honest and strict with myself in terms of, that if I achieve the target, then I'm going to be watching it. Otherwise, I don't deserve it. So then you set a next target. And you set a little impossible kind of a target so that you stretch yourself more. So it's always about pushing your limits. So that is also one thing that I have always done, that when I think that no, this is not possible, or this will be too much of stress giving these 3 exams at this in one go or something, or managing these 2 exams with office at this point of time. So I've always tried to push myself that karte na. If I don't attempt, then definitely I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. But if I attempt, I'll probably raise my capacity to a certain level. Maybe I'll achieve it, I'll not achieve it, but I'm definitely going to be pushing my capacity, or my tolerance level, or my strength or resistance or resilience or whatever you call it. I'm going to be able to push myself. I'm going to be able to become a more hardworking person if I at least attempt. So that is one thing that I used to do, and I can't sit idle. I get bored very easily. So 5 times in a day, I'm going to tell my mom I'm getting bored if I'm staying at home one day. So I just can't sit idle. So that is one. Not that I compromised on my college life or anything, because we had very strict attendance in my college, and also I used to participate in almost all the business fests and all that used to come up. So it was not that I had to compromise on those fronts, or in terms of meeting friends, or I was not a party animal for sure, obviously, but we used to hang out, we used to meet friends, and all those things were there. So it was not that you have to be seclude your life and stay aloof or something like that. It's not going to be like that, but it's just that you'll have to prioritize. So 4-5 months I'm studying because the exams are coming up, and 2-3 exams at a go are coming up. And the moment the exams are over, for 1 month I'm just going for all the movies and roaming around and doing whatever, but watching sitcoms and just wasting my time, basically. Enjoying, kind of re-energizing myself for, for the next set of exams. So it's not that that you have to compromise on your social life and everything, but then when the exam is coming up, those 3-4 months, do hell with your social life. After the exam is over, then you enjoy your social life for a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever you can afford. So it used to be like that. You have to prioritize. So the priorities used to be there. Like, there is no family functions or Diwalis and all that. So even if a first cousin is getting married, I can't help it, because if I have an exam, I have to prioritize that and I have to clear that exam. So I would skip that. And another thing I would honestly tell you is that I have absolutely no regrets. Neither I had any regrets then, nor do I have any regrets today on missing out on anything or anything, or anything of that sort, because it's a trade-off. So you have that limited time frame, and there is a trade-off that you either do this or you do that. You can't be in two places at once, right? So you don't have that hourglass of Hermione Granger, probably. So I wish. So you can't be in two places at once. So ultimately, you'll have to take a choice, and you have to stick to it without feeling guilty. So I've never felt guilty that I missed out on Diwali functions, or a lot of family functions, or friends, chilling together, partying together, or anything. I absolutely have no regrets, because it's a very conscious choice that I made. So you have to make a lot of choices that and stick to it, and absolutely unapologetically. So that's how it was. And see, there's no substitute to hard work or discipline. There is going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline in terms of not giving up, not giving in, not giving in to your temptations or anything. So there has to be a lot of hard work and discipline, and it's just the long term that matters. So right now, if it's again delayed gratification. So you work hard right now, you reap the benefits throughout your life later on. So that is something that matters a lot. And coming to probably the last thing is very important, the kind of support system you have around yourself. So the family, the support system that you have is quite important. So for example, for now it does not happen, because now the exams, so now it's become a very regular affair. But until college, until CA, CFA, and all these exams were over, like primarily my education was over. I want to study for the rest of my life. But till the kind of when before I started working, basically. So before I started working, for all the exams I'd taken, I know that my mom used to be in the temple for the duration that I'm giving. So the time that I'm sitting in the exam hall, my mom is sitting in the temple. So it used to be like that. So also that is also a very driving factor, because that there is a lot of effort that is going on by other people also. So you also have to put in that kind of effort. You cannot cheat people around you, and there's so much of support around you, so it pushes you more, of course. For example, my sisters wouldn't come over for their summer vacations or something to their own house, just because I have an exams and I'll be distracted and I would want to spend time with them. So it's a very cumulative effort and a lot of sacrifices that your family also makes along with you, when you're trying to achieve something, when you're trying to get your degree, when you're trying to get your education over. So I think, yes, that is also extremely, extremely important, the kind of support system that you have around yourself. So yeah, that's more or less, everything I could think of and pen down together as to how I ended up with all the degrees. And if you ask me a question now, that because a major part of my education has also happened along with work. Since I continued to study, I'm still continuing to study, I plan to study, even I'm still studying right now. So I believe that, with all humility, I don't think I'm 5% of where I wish to be. And since God has been very kind, I want to work very hard and respect that. Otherwise, I think it'll be unfair if I'm not pushing my limits and doing more, and working very hard. So I sincerely do believe in invest in yourself, and you have to work hard. There's absolutely no substitute. and there's probably no better feeling or a better high that you could experience, when you feel good about yourself, when you feel competent, when you feel confident, when you have that feeling of self-worth, as I mention in classes also at times. So I guess, yeah, these are the things that's still driving me to do more, and I hope I continue. I hope I continue well. So I think that's more or less about it. That's more or less about it. Thank you.